Hi guys, it's Abs, and welcome back to Genshin Impact. We are on the 2.5 update, so we have 2 major story quests to get through, and I'm sure many of other things as well. So let's jump on in. Of course, we have to do the Riding Shogun's story quest first, so I will see you guys there.
Ad Astra Abyssosque.
Yo, yo, yo.
Recently, the Adventurers Guild has received an unusual commission, and after careful consideration, we believe that
the Traveler would be the most suitable candidate, right?
As always.
Indeed, as ever. I will spare the pleasantries then. May I ask if you two are available to help? Well, let me go over it briefly. Our client for this job is the Yashiro Commission. Apparently, Rift Towns are attacking the roots of the sacred Sakura nearby Mount Yogo in great numbers.
Rift Hounds? On Narukami Island?
Yes. We are not sure where exactly these creatures come from. But this time, they are attacking in alarming numbers with great aggression and a clear target. The sacred Sakura is of tremendous importance to Inazuma. I trust you are aware of this already?
Yeah, we have a bit of knowledge on that.
Good. Then you can see that this case is very urgent indeed.
Is the Tenryu Commission aware?
Yes, and they are already taking action of their own. However, given that the sacred Sakura's root system is vast and complex, and faced with the unpredictability and scale of the Rift Town's attacks, they are finding it difficult to defend against them. Their main priority is to protect the civilian population, so they are actively looking to cooperate with all other available forces to eliminate the monsters. The Adventurers Guild is one of the key parties assisting the Tenryu Commission with their work. But so far, the combined efforts to combat the Rift Towns has failed to substantially ameliorate the situation.
Oh no. Time to make some whelps yelp. I'll send these pooches packing, oh god.
You have our deepest gratitude. Your confident response puts me far more at ease. I will mark on your map the areas where Rift Town appearances have been recently reported. I hope you won't encounter too much trouble overcoming them.
Relax. We'll be back before you can say Ad Astra Abyssosque.
Oh my gosh.
They're attacking the sacred Sakura! Stop them!
Here they go. Take them out.
Gotta dash.
Shadows of fate! Decided by destiny! You can't run! By royal decree!
Hey! Yeah.
Oh, here they come. The big boy.
Delve into destiny! Judgment! Yeah, lights out! Oz, reveal thyself! Shadows of fate! Written in the stars! Let me scribe!
Come on out! Gotta dash.
Midnight Phantasmagoria.
You can't run!
Wow, there are so many of them! No wonder the Tenryu Commission needed help. Come on, Traveler, you can take them!
God. Oh my gosh, they keep teleporting. I keep forgetting.
Hey! Yeah.
It's not bad. I'm just a bot. It's bad. And I hate their life drain. These characters.
Judgment!
We need some health. I don't want to take any risks. Oh, I don't have any health. Oh no, it's gonna go south really quick. I don't know what this does. Holy water. Oh yeah, this does nothing, doesn't it? It does nothing, right?
By royal decree. Huh. Huh. Hit. Get. Punishment.
We got him. Yes. My team almost died, but I did it. Wait, no, there's more.
Torn to oblivion!
Shogun? Wait, no. Could also be A.
Oh, it's you two.
Yeah, that question mark though.
It has been a long time. We have not seen each other since the resolution of the Tenryou Commission crisis.
Okay, sounds more like A. It is you, right? You sure made short work of them. That was amazing.
Yeah, I saw the beginning of this already. I didn't remember when she'd come out, but I remember the question mark because people were marking like, oh, the question mark, and I didn't see it the first time. What are you doing here?
I'm making early preparations for what is to come. Last time we took a walk around Inazuma together, I witnessed the way the world is today. I was finally able to comprehend some things that I had never understood in the past.
I mean, that's always a good thing.
Since then, every time I encounter an obstacle in my thinking, I find myself having the urge to spend some time in the outside world.
Makes sense. You must get super bored being stuck in there all the time.
And I would think you'd be depressed, but maybe not.
Might I remind you that I am not here to amuse myself? Recently, I have observed a number of changes in the external world from the plane of Euthymia. The most serious of these being the attack on the sacred Sakura by numerous rift hounds. I considered this matter worthy of my attention, so I pursued them, and they led me here, where I happened to run into you.
But the commissions and adventurers can deal with monsters. Yeah, it doesn't seem like a matter needing her attention, but she did just say she wanted to be out and about, so...
If the Shogun, rather than I, were to discover them, yes, perhaps she would have left the situation alone.
Why? Because she's just a puppet?
Precisely. According to the rules I designed for her, matters of this nature are to be delegated to the Tri-Commission.
Her eyes are so pretty.
But rift hounds attacking the sacred Sakura?
A disaster?
Yes. 500 years ago, a great catastrophe befell Inazuma. Everything was engulfed in a pitch-black fog, and monsters ravaged the land. Countless lives were lost, and this homeland that the people had worked so hard to build barely escaped being obliterated entirely.
Was this here always? And I just don't remember this route. Because I honestly don't remember the route or its color.
The monsters committed many atrocities on Inazuman soil, and the Rift Hounds were always their advance guard. Their duty was to tear open a passage through space with their claws and teeth, and then call in even more powerful beasts.
500 years ago, Conria.
So you've heard of it too. That's an episode of history that I am loath to recall. Maybe to you, it seems like my response to these creatures was an excessive one. But an excess of caution is not unwarranted in this case.
Guess you can't argue with that.
Since we are both here for the same reason, let us work together. From the traces they've left in the surrounding area, there should be many more monsters nearby. All of them must be eliminated.
I don't have the Shogun. As as anybody that watches knows. I don't have any of the Archons. Not that I didn't want them, I just never got them. But is that how she always talks? Because she sounds like she's much more, like, sad already. Like, I can just tell, like, she's kind of got, like, a somber tone. But maybe that's how her character talks anyway. So, I don't know. Also, another thing I wanted to mention, but I didn't want to interrupt the dialogue, was why did they talk about Conria? Why did they storyline it to where it was 500 years ago? Because honestly, it doesn't seem like it was that. I know 500 years is a long time, but it seems like it would be even longer ago. Like, it seems like Conria is ancient. I just feel like, why 500 years ago? Why not 1,000 years ago? You know? But maybe I'm, like, being way too... I'm reading too much into it. Anyways, just wanted to mention that.
Paimon feels so safe when we're in Ace company. Having someone uber powerful on your team kind of makes you feel invincible, doesn't it?
I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah, after we've dealt with the monsters, we should ask her to tell us more about Conria.
You get those 5 stars and you're like, oh, I can do anything. Yeah.
This color! It's similar to the color when the sacred Sakura takes damage. Let's follow it. It should be this way.
Okay, I gotta heal my party. I love udon. It's so good. The noodles, oh my goodness. They're so yummy. It's always cute. The ones that she makes are If I could make a bento box, I would definitely put that in the bento box. Why did the camera... I mean, I know it was telling me that it was there, but it's still awkward. Those are my favorite puzzles, by the way. Am I supposed to go this way? Yeah. I love those puzzles, they're so fun. They're a puzzle that I can actually work with and solve. Unlike some
We
of
are
those
lucky.
other crazy ones.
The damage is not too serious. The Yashiro Commission will be able to nurse the root system back to health.
This stuff that's flowing out, is it sap or something? And how come it's glowing?
Yikes.
Huh? What's this? Could they be dead people? It wouldn't be the first time we'd seen ghosts on our journey.
They're definitely transparent.
But why would they appear here?
Let's search the area. Perhaps we will find out.
I can't go on like this. Not when the other troops are counting on me.
What happened here? Could you tell us?
Who are you? What are you doing here? Run quick while you still can. The monsters will be back. And once you're in their sights, I'm telling you, there's no escaping them.
Boy, do I know that. I almost just got creamed.
We will defend Inazuma until our dying breath.
The Rift Heralds, right?
You don't know? Inazuma is engulfed in darkness. Beasts and horrifying monsters are everywhere. They are merciless, ferocious, and they will devour everything in their path. Every last trace of humanity's existence, I tell you. They'll devour it all.
This is like the bad thing when there's fantasy in a world. You know, like there's a lot of good things and we've seen a lot of good, but now we're starting to see like, I mean we've seen bad too, but now we're really starting to see like the ramifications of having such fantastical things in the world.
But look, none of that seems to be going on around here.
Not right now. But they'll be back. Look, get out of here. Now! There's no time left! The almighty Shogun is gone. So is Kitsune Saigu. There is no one left to rely on but ourselves. I don't know how long we can hold out for. But if we abandon our hope, then we've got nothing left at all.
Don't worry, I'm right here.
It's... the Shogun? You're back! Please, we beg you. You have to help us. You have to save Inazuma. Only the glow of your supreme lightning can dispel this terrible darkness. Please, or the whole of Inazuma will be reduced to a hunting ground for the beasts.
Calm down. The war you speak of is over.
Over? But what do you mean? Shogun?
Look around you. The grass grows green and lush, and a soft breeze blows. This is Inazuma at peace, as you will no doubt remember.
Okay, so we're getting a vibe here. Well, more than a vibe, but
There are no monsters, nor is there anything else here that could threaten your life.
What?
they're like the after images in Konami.
But how? Just moments ago, they were everywhere. I saw them tear my comrade to shreds with my own eyes.
Hey, calm down. Everything's fine now.
Huh. I think I understand. Almighty Shogun, you saved Inazuma. Yes, we were right to place our trust in the Almighty Shogun. As long as the Shogun is with us, Inazuma will last for an eternity. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, thank you.
What's wrong with him?
He's turning into a puff of smoke.
He's gone.
Okay. A bit anticlimactic, but okay.
Paimon can't even begin to understand what that was all about. But somehow, Paimon feels all sad and hopeless.
I'm not sad yet. Nope. Not Caven. Nope, it's fine. He just puffed. He just poofed out of existence. He was already out of existence, I'm convinced. It's just, you know, we saw an after image, but the man is peacefully resting. I'm not sad. He's been resting
If I am
for
not
500
mistaken,
years.
what we just saw was a samurai's memory that was buried in the land. The sacred sakura can absorb and purify the filth in the ley lines. After the Rift Hounds attacked, some of this filth leaked out through the cracks in the trunk and formed a physical entity. An entity formed with strong filth would be highly aggressive. But when purified, it presents in the form of a memory. Purified filth quickly dissipates and will be absorbed by the ley lines shortly afterwards. In other words, it cannot exist for too long.
The same thing happened to Dusty Ming. I don't even remember, like, her story entirely. But she's the, what's it called? The Spectre at Wangshu, right? She's the ghost there.
So the memories of the ones that died are all appearing at this moment?
Yes. That soldier was one of the many thousands who made the ultimate sacrifice. What he was describing just now was precisely the disaster that happened in Inazuma 500 years ago.
So why are they showing up now? Like, it was 500 years ago, why today?
Yes. Inazuma was facing many great crises at that time. Some were local in origin, while others came from the now fallen kingdom of Kanria. The disaster in Inazuma caused me great concern. I felt that I had to step in before it was too late, otherwise it would spread to all of Teyvat. But my friend, Kitsune Saiku, reassured me that I had nothing to worry about. She would shoulder the responsibility of protecting Inazuma, and mobilize all forces at her disposal to combat the threat. I could tell that, although neither of us acknowledged it, we both knew that the road ahead would likely end in tragedy.
So, Inazuma was attacked at the same time as when the disaster happened in Kanria?
Indeed. Countless monsters suddenly appeared throughout all of Inazuma. In the end, Kitsune Saigu sacrificed her life to protect the people.
Okay. So her friend died. So she probably has some guilt. I'm assuming. But it was probably her friend's choice to sacrifice herself, so.
I never had the chance to see her one last time. But I would like to believe that she kept her promise to me until the very last.
I'm sure she did.
But even then, Inazuma was left more devastated than we could have ever imagined. Those terrible tragedies left great wounds that are still felt to this day, both on the land itself and in my heart.
I've discussed this with other people too, but this whole, like, expanse of time that the Archons exist, you know, like, it must be insane. Like, we've seen it with Zhongli, how, like, time just takes its toll. Like, all those memories, it's just, like, so much to remember, you know, and so much, like, so much weight with those memories, you know. We also see it with Xiao as well, although some people like to make it a bit dirty, but we won't go there.
Hey.
Sorry, I'm like totally getting off track. I apologize. This is how I commentate.
Yes. For the longest time, I couldn't bring myself to face the pain of that loss. All my martial might was in vain. Though I could conquer Tatarigami and vanquish monsters, I was helpless against the ravages of time, powerless to keep the ones I cherished alive. But after my clash with human ambition, I thought long and hard. Now I realize I cannot fixate on the past forever.
Yep. You can't find any positivity if you're only stuck in the past. And it's the same in opposite. If you're too stuck in the future, you won't find happiness in the present. So you need to try to be present, so you're no longer stuck in the past.
When I traveled around Inazuma with you, I caught a glimpse of how the nation has progressed over the centuries. A glimpse of human potential. Everything far exceeded my expectations. Moving forward inevitably invites further loss, but also new encounters. Just think of that soldier. Despite all the losses he had experienced, he still chose to keep fighting for the sake of moving forward. All those who sacrificed themselves back then gave their lives fighting for a future. But perhaps the future they were hoping for is not the eternity that I once strove for.
That's what being human is all about.
As Inazuma's god, it is high time I honored their wishes. Warriors of the past, who spilled your blood on this land, your noble souls now rest in this earth. I will never forget you, and all that you did for Inazuma.
He's taking all this pretty hard.
I mean, anyone would.
Come on. Let's keep investigating the damage to the sacred Sakura.
I mean, what am I talking about? I'm not taking it hard. I'm fine. I'm great. Alright. I really want it, but I'm not gonna get it. I'm gonna focus.
Expected there are a load of rift hounds
Leave them to me. Torn to oblivion! Ha! Shine down! Ha! Ha! Illusion shattered! Ha!
Huh? Something seems wrong with A.
Are you okay?
Why would you ask that?
Well, usually you'd pull out your sword and swish! Vaporize them all in one go, no?
You are unduly concerned. I'm simply conserving my energy.
Okay.
Although I have some understanding of the situation already, it could take an unexpected turn at any time.
I mean, if you say so, I'll believe you.
I must be prepared for anything. If there are more formidable monsters lying in wait in this area, I must make sure I have the strength to face them.
Ah, makes sense. Spoken like a seasoned shogun. The roots seem pretty badly damaged this time. We definitely need to tell the Yashiro Commission about this. Hey, the same light is leaking out again.
Oh,
Furuyama? Is that you?
Almighty Shogun, what brings you back so soon? I thought you were off fighting a battle in a distant land.
Fighting a battle in a distant land? Sounds like this guy's talking about 500 years ago, too.
Allow me to introduce Furuyama. He is a tea master and a member of my retinue.
okay.
Though blind, Furuyama is unparalleled in his ability to appraise tea. He brews some of the very finest tea in all of Inazuma.
She's using present tense, but I feel like it's not the present.
Your Excellency, you shower me with praise undeserved. I have simply had the good fortune to be in Your Excellency's presence long enough to become acquainted with all the skills that are required of me. It sounds like the Almighty Shogun has brought a guest. I'm afraid I'm unable to serve you any respectable refreshments on account of the current situation. But please, sit and rest. After all, it's quite a mess out there.
What should we do?
Yeah, I guess let's go along with what he says.
Oh, yeah. Sheesh. There's monsters everywhere out there. It's pitch black and loads of people have been injured.
I see. So, they have fought their way this far already. Most of the residents in this neighborhood have already escaped. They wanted to take me with them, but it seemed rather pointless to me. So, I decided to stay. And now the Almighty Shogun is here, I have even less reason to run away. Imagine if this was something that even the Almighty Shogun was powerless to resolve. Where could I possibly run to then?
How come you're not panicking?
People flee out of a desire to live on, and the desire to live on stems from a feeling of having unfinished business in life. But me, I have no such thoughts, and I have no regrets.
That's really good.
The Almighty Shogun often speaks to me about her dreams over tea. Just listening to her stories, I've been blind for many years, but her vivid descriptions took me on a splendid journey to all the most beautiful places in Inazuma. Over time, I've come to understand her mindset. Quite the romantic at heart, a true dreamer.
Aww.
One thing she always says is, good things don't last forever. Everything changes, fades, disappears completely over the passage of time. And so, people must make the most of the life they have, seize the chance to enjoy it while it lasts, and have no regrets in the end.
Yeah. I've had this conversation with some people recently, with just kind of the way everything's been going on. And I think that's how a lot of people feel, is that, like, you don't want to have regrets. And, like, especially recently, we weren't able, there's so much we were literally unable to do that it makes you want to do those things. It makes you feel like this passage of time, like, I don't have a choice to do anything that I want to do in a lot of ways. Not entirely, but, you know, like your bucket list and stuff like that. There's a lot that you can't do. So it's very difficult, but that is really, really, really important. Yeah, A's not A's not that, like, flowery.
So you see, as bleak as things may be now, I have experienced countless wonderful things in life, and have no reason not to be satisfied.
Yeah, try to find your happiness in life. And you know what? You know what it is, too? I think it's also, like, where you are in life. Like, when you're young, right? And even, like, sometimes as you age, but until you're able to retire, probably. Or, like, come to a point where you're comfortable, at least. If you can. You'll probably feel like, at least for a lot of people, you'll probably feel like, no, I have so much I want to see, I have so much I want to do. You know what I mean? Like, you're constantly in that mode of, like, oh, I need to work, oh, I need to do things, you know? And then after that, it's like, okay, or maybe a little bit in between, but mostly after that, it's like, oh, I'll go, you know, go and experience things, I'll go and I'll do things. And once you've done that, you feel better. But, you know, it's all about that, that, as we've seen before, it's all about that work-life balance, you know? You gotta try to find a way to meet that medium every day, to try to, or at least as much as you can, to try to achieve that happiness every day. Also, don't be like, I need to be happy every single day. That's an impossible thing to reach. But, you know, just try to take it one step at a time. If you know, zoom out too much, it gets a little bit disorienting.
Perhaps you are right.
It won't be long now before I have to say goodbye to the almighty Shogun for the last time. Ah, what a pity. I'll never get to see what Inazuma looks like after the almighty Shogun rebuilds it anew. But I suppose it doesn't matter. Everyone says that Inazuma has turned dark now. But to me, it went dark a long time ago. Once this catastrophe is over, life is sure to spring forth anew. But even if I survived until then, I'd probably be a hopelessly befuddled old so-and-so by then. So, never mind, eh? Oh, goodness me. Speaking of befuddled, look at me rambling away to my heart's content and forgetting to serve the tea. The almighty Shogun comes to visit and I don't have the tea ready. A truly egregious loss of decorum.
How could you?
One moment, I'll just... Where in the world is the tea set? I hope the others didn't smash it to smithereens in their hasty departure.
Raffle.
Can't see a tea set anywhere around here.
Really? But it's always been right by my side. Goodness gracious, what a fool I'm making of myself.
We know where to find a tea set.
I couldn't possibly have my guests fetch it themselves. That would be most discourteous indeed.
I mean, we don't mind.
Don't worry about it. Take a rest. We'll be back right away.
Almighty Shogun, you're not going too, are you? No, no, no. Your humble servant implores you, not with the war raging outside.
This place is complicated. It's quite unlike the tea house in your memories. Leave it to us.
But... well, okay. I never thought I'd see the day that I need the almighty Shogun to personally collect my tea set for me. I can't decide whether it's a final regret or a final stroke of good fortune.
It's the Traveler. And the almighty Shogun.
All this talk about it, I really needed some tea.
How might I be of assistance, Your Excellency?
I wish to borrow a tea set from the Yashiro Commission.
Oh, sure. I'll fetch that for you right away. Please step into the courtyard and have a rest, almighty Shogun. Oh, and I'll inform my lord about your visit immediately. Ah, and the tea set. I'll bring that here as soon as it's ready.
Be at ease. I'm not here to see Commissioner Kamisato. Actually, I'd prefer to spend this time chatting with the Traveler. Please, fetch the tea set at your convenience.
No. I am your humble servant. I daren't think of my own convenience when the almighty Shogun graces me with her presence. I'll deal with it right away.
Okay.
Well, it's not often we have the chance to chat. I'm sure you must have a lot of questions.
Was it really you that the tea master used to serve?
Right. Paimon wanted to ask that too. The almighty Shogun that he described didn't sound anything like you at all.
Sunrise is so pretty, but also so bright.
I seldom had the time to drink tea. Any free time I had was spent practicing martial arts. So, in the vast majority of cases, the one he made tea for was the former Electro Archon, who was also my sister, Raiden Makoto. He may well have had an inkling about there being two Raiden Shoguns, but he always acted as if he was completely unaware of it. The philosophy of life that he shared with us just now, that was Makoto's view on reality. She always saw things that way.
Ah, so he chose to be ignorant on it. Okay.
You and Makoto had pretty different views, huh?
Yeah, clearly. A isn't that, flowery, you know?
Indeed we did. It was the biggest difference between us. In her eyes, the most precious things in this world were dreams. The yearning for a better future held by living beings.
Dreams, or in other words, ambitions.
They are similar, but not identical.
Oh, okay.
When you came charging into the plane of Euthymia, I saw human aspirations light up the sky far above in the form of countless stars. This somewhat shook me. Now, it seems like she was right, while I took the wayward path.
Wow. There sure was a lot going on beneath the surface.
Yep.
Makoto saw a bigger picture than I did. In her view, a dream is more imaginary, more abstract than an ambition.
Okay. But if it's more imaginary, then that means it's not real, right?
An ambition is a yearning for something material,
Okay.
or a concrete outcome. It is finite in nature, and will be replaced by a new ambition in due course.
But what would a dream be if you can't achieve it? You know, if it's only imaginary, then I don't know. That just, I don't know, I can't get behind that, but alright.
Makoto was more concerned with the force that drives humans to constantly generate new ambitions in the first place. It is something innate, rooted in instinct. In other words, it is something eternal.
Somehow I knew you were gonna come back to that word. And also, like, yeah. I mean, if we're gonna go back to the part, live while you're alive, like, you know, as humans, if you want to put it that way, Raiden, you know, we only have so much time. So it's like, you might as well do whatever you want to do while you can do it. You know, because you only got so much time. So that's why we have to have aspirations. We have to have ideas and goals, because if we don't, then you know, we're not putting our valuable time towards anything.
That's, quite a lot to take in.
It is indeed.
To put it simply, Makoto wasn't concerned about outcomes. I didn't understand at the time. How can we say that we are maintaining eternity when things are constantly moving forward and evolving? I suppose what it comes down to is the definition of eternity she set out with.
It seems more in line with how humans view the world. Yeah, it really does. I mean, kind of having this debate too. Like, the Archons are like Archons. But they also can die. You know, like it's clearly it's possible. Like, eventually they will die. They just live much longer than any average human would. Like, you know, we see like Song Lee's like the eldest, right? So I mean, but they are kind of human in a way, in the fact that they're not immortal. But whatever. I see what they're saying though.
Yes, it does. I always thought that she must have grasped some elusive, arcane wisdom to arrive at the conclusions she did. But in the last analysis, Makoto's philosophy was, on the surface at least, an elegantly simple one. Notwithstanding that it was also the more prudent choice, based on a more mature, far-sighted outlook.
Do you feel you're starting to understand her better now?
You have already witnessed my previous views on eternity.
Indeed.
But now, I no longer cling to what was lost. I suppose that means our differences have been reconciled.
But clearly there's still something she's struggling with, right?
Almighty Shogun, I found a tea set. This one in particular should be fit for your Excellency's use.
It's quite beautiful. Thank you.
You are too kind. A humble servant such as I does not deserve the gratitude of the Almighty Shogun.
It's all good, sir. She's actually pretty chill.
Yeah.
Let us return. We ought not keep Furuyama waiting too long.
Nothing like a warm cup of tea to start your day. Somehow I really feel like this is gonna get more depressing, but hopefully the tea will calm me.
Hey, where'd he go? He wouldn't have gone looking for a tea set himself, would he?
Wouldn't put it past him.
Or perhaps the ley lines did not have the power to sustain him for very long, as was the case with the memory we saw earlier.
So we won't get to drink his tea?
Probably not.
We didn't even have a chance to say goodbye.
Oh my goodness.
The information held in the ley lines is complex and disorderly. The fact that we were able to meet him to begin with was a miracle of fate.
Oh my gosh, Paimon should not have cried. It's okay, Paimon. Yeah, let's make our own tea.
Well, this chance won't come often, and we do have a tea set. Perhaps I should try my hand at making us a pot of tea. I've watched Furuyama brew tea on many occasions. I doubt I should have any major problems doing it myself. The tea is ready. Please give it a try. So many thoughts were racing through my head as I was brewing it. I'm not sure how to explain it.
You don't need to.
You're right. But the things we've seen today have brought back many memories for me. I've been reminded of many people, too. Kitsune Saigu, Makoto, and all the other friends who I watched pass even further back. Back at the Yashiro Commission, I kept the conversation reasonably lighthearted. But now, I'd like to broach a heavier topic, if I may.
Oh no.
The events of 500 years ago not only robbed me of my friend, Kitsune Saigu, they also took Makoto away from me, for good.
Oh no.
She died in that disaster too?
Yes. She went to Conria alone, without telling me. Unlike me, Makoto was no martial artist. Whenever similar crises had arisen in the past, I was always the one to face them in her stead. But this time, the circumstances were so grave that Makoto had no choice but to leave me behind. Or perhaps it was more that she went ahead of me, put herself in front of me, so that I would remain hidden. In any case, by the time I realized what was happening...
She already did it, yeah.
Yes. It was too late. I arrived only in time to hear her dying breath. She had already lapsed into unconsciousness by that point, so all I could do was enter into her mind. As far as you're concerned, it would be somewhere similar to the plane of Euthymia. It was there that we bid each other a final farewell. I cried bitterly. Even in those final moments, I couldn't understand her actions. Why did she go to Conria first, and not I? Why did she keep me in the dark about it? Was it to shield me?
I'm sure she had her reasons, but yeah, that's really bad.
It was there and then that I resolved to pursue eternity. As a testament to that decision, I saved her realm of consciousness just before it collapsed completely, and brought it back to Inazuma.
Also, complete side note, but are you seeing these shots? Like, the scenery is beautiful.
That's quite a story.
When I returned to Inazuma, I was shocked to find that a great sakura tree had appeared on Mount Yogo. The tree that you know as the sacred sakura.
It just appeared, like, out of thin air. Poof, it's there.
That's exactly what everyone back then told me as well. That it had existed since time immemorial. They were so matter-of-fact about it, and couldn't at all understand what I was so surprised about. No one questioned it, and yet its presence contrasted so starkly with the area as I remembered it. It seemed as if I was the only one to have noticed it appear suddenly out of thin air. In the end, I simply had to accept that it was a miraculous effect of Makoto's consciousness. With the help of the sacred Sakura's power, I was finally able to overcome the monsters and quell the disaster in Inazuma.
This is all really hard to understand. Kinda beyond Paimon's level.
Simply put, Makoto's power somehow made that tree appear.
Yes.
Did you see that lizard?
She had such a great love for this land, and for its people. I once told myself that I would never speak of these events again. Facing the fact that she is gone is unbearably painful.
Yeah, that's really, really difficult to deal with. I don't know what I would say in this moment. I have no idea. All I can point out is things that are happening or try to, like, say my piece about it, but there's not really much I can say 'cause it's really, really sad. And I know what it's like to lose someone too. Words can't express it, so. You reflect on it sometimes, but most of the time you just try not to dwell on it.
But even the tea that is most bitter to the tongue, once swallowed, leaves some sweetness in the throat. And it's time I came to terms with it all.
Yeah, all poetic, it seems. Poetry is the true healer here. It seems like you've done a lot of thinking about this already. I mean, bro, it's been 500 years. She's probably been thinking about this for 500 years. Yeah, well, I guess we know the pain of separation as well.
Oh, while we're on the topic, since you experienced that battle in person...
Dropping the question.
Sister? I had heard that you were looking for your family. You mean to say that she was somehow involved in the Conria disaster?
Based on what we've learned so far, it seems so, yeah.
I'm sorry. I wasn't there for the whole thing. By the time I arrived, the worst of the fighting was already over. And also, my mind was consumed entirely with the plight of Inazuma, and the fate of those closest to me. So, I am afraid I can't help you.
Oh, well, that's a shame. But it can't be helped, I guess. Boy, both of you have experienced great tragedy.
I mean, I guess I don't really know all of my tragedy, maybe, but I mean, the person she was closest to died. At least my sister's not dead. But I don't know. Maybe we're gonna wish she was, you know? I have no idea how this is gonna go, but you know, we've got the entire game still, probably before we're ever gonna figure this out. They keep like tossing it in there, but it's like I'm expecting that we're not gonna get an answer on any of this for a really long time. They only give us little cookie crumbs, and then that's it.
With this last cup of tea, let us honor the Tea Master's memory.
And to that, we take a sip of tea.
Thank you, Destiny, for giving us the chance to meet again.
We should go. Let's keep following the traces.
Very well. Based on my investigation so far, I believe this next pack of monsters should be the last.
No rest for the wicked.
Oh, okay, game. That's over.
Once again, please leave them to me.
Hey! Are you sure you're alright? You're scaring us!
Fear not. Fighting is what I do best.
Not so sure about that.
There is no escape!
Also, you couldn't play my health. And I literally, I only have riding. What?
Are you alright?
I'm fine. There is no escape! Now you shall perish! Shine down! Illusion shattered! Remove all of...
Hey, maybe you should leave this one to us.
Yeah, you don't really look good.
I...
She ain't doing too well. She's not doing too well.
My apologies.
Don't worry about it. Just take a breather and get your strength back. We'll deal with the monsters. Look, that's the same light again.
Time for another trip down memory lane.
Where am I? Who are you?
Oh, I thought he was
Almighty
gonna say, who
Shogun,
am I?
you're here too. Are you injured, Your Excellency?
I'm quite all right. Just feeling a little stiff.
We, the Shogunate Samurai, will defend the Shogun until the very end.
Come on, men. They're coming back for more. Let's get them.
Don't! It's too dangerous.
Danger is our duty, ma'am. If we were the kinds to shy away from danger, we never would have taken up arms to begin with.
No need to worry, Almighty Shogun. When the situation looks bleak, we will draw on the power granted to us by the gods.
Is that a vision?
Yeah, I just noticed that one.
It certainly is. I know the gods are omnipotent, and their willingness to grant their power to humans means they have high expectations for us. If the Almighty Shogun is in trouble, now of all times is the moment for us to honor that.
So that's how samurai of that era understood visions, huh?
So full of hope.
Nobody knew where Your Excellency had gone, and we were starting to despair. But now we've found you. You're right here with us. Just the sight of you appearing before us once more has reignited the hope in our hearts. This hope is the light that will guide us out from the darkness.
Everyone, on me!
We'll help too!
Huh? Affirmative, but watch your backs.
Protect the Almighty Shogun!
Yeah! Yeah! Shadows of fate, decided by destiny. Wings of darkness, come, sever night from day. Let me scry. Oz, reveal thyself. Judgment. Punishment. Delved into destiny. Written in the stars. By royal decree.
Make my escape.
Midnight Phantasmagoria! Ha!
Official, now is not the appropriate time to laugh. Oh god.
It seems like their attacks are finally over.
I've never fought so fiercely before.
Thank you all.
Are you okay? Maybe you should keep resting.
I'm fine. I feel much better already.
You fought phenomenally. It was truly awe-inspiring. The monsters will definitely come back. And when they do, it'll be more than a few Rift Hounds this time. Quickly, escort Her Excellency back to Inazuma City, and regroup with the General's forces as soon as possible.
When everyone sees the Almighty Shogun safely returning, their spirits will be lifted.
This is completely irrelevant, but I just spilled a whole bunch of tea on on the floor. Just give me a second, I gotta go clean this up. Okay, I'm back.
Well, what are you guys gonna do?
We will stay here and guard against the monsters' advance. We cannot afford to let them get any further. We are brothers in arms. As long as we stick together, we can face any number of monsters that come our way.
We have no business disrupting the reality that they are experiencing.
Just leave it to us. Fighting is what we do best.
But we also disrupted that first person. You know? It doesn't matter what we do, it seems like our existence literally just impacts the vision or the memory. Even though, you know, we try not to.
But the almighty Shogun is the only one of us with the power to change the present state of affairs. Only Her Excellency can turn back the tide of despair and lead us onward into the future. No matter what kind of threat faces Inazuma, we will always place our faith in the almighty Shogun.
Oh, thank you all very much. I promise you that I will create a bright future for Inazuma. I should not have left it this late to make this promise. But from this moment forth, know that I shall be true to my word.
Don't worry, Your Excellency. We will never doubt your word as long as we live. With you leading us, we will claim back everything that Inazuma has lost.
Glory to the Shogun! Glory to the Shogun!
They're gone.
Was that a promise to them or to yourself?
It was both. The people's sacrifice has always caused me immense pain. But in dwelling on the tragedy, I overlooked their splendor. The grief blinded me to how brightly they shone in their final moments. The result being that in the centuries since their sacrifice, I have dishonored their will.
I mean, it's all the sadness that they're surrounding about death, and death is horrible. Especially when, you know, you're left to tell, you're left to be, you know, the one that's still alive. But, I mean, death in itself isn't a negative thing. It's not a bad thing. You know, she just blinked and it scared me.
You could take the view that whatever I say to them is meaningless, because they are but disembodied memories held in the ley lines.
I doubt it's meaningless.
But even so, they are due a resolution. I owe it to them, and to all the people who have placed their faith in me to date.
Well, Paimon thinks that even if it's a few hundred years later, you're doing right by them now, and that's what counts.
The title for this video is gonna be Genshin tried to give me depression, but I didn't let it.
Thank you for your comforting words. But this is my basic duty as Inazuma's Archon, and I have neglected it for far too long. I used to think just like that samurai, that I was first and foremost a warrior, and my only duty was to face whatever challenge came my way. But what Inazuma needs more than a warrior is someone like Makoto. Even though I am utterly unlike Makoto, and can never become the person she was, I still need to do the things that she would have done.
You can't keep comparing yourself to someone else, though. Because if you keep doing that, you'll never be able to reach the expectations. So you'll constantly be letting yourself down. And you'll constantly feel like you're not worthy. But for some reason, you're the one that's still here. You know? So you just do your best. And understandably, you probably want to follow in her footsteps to an extent, but try to leave room for yourself too.
Yes, they are. They are strong and resilient, and have much to be proud of. As the Raiden Shogun they revere, I should not be the one to hold them back.
Well said. Sounds to Paimon like you figured things out.
Change will come to Inazuma, and with it, new possibilities. This will take time, but eventually, the future will bring healing to the scars of the past. No matter how long it takes, I am committed to bringing this to fruition. This is my promise. Now that we've dealt with the Rift Hounds, this matter is halfway resolved. It does not appear that the threat will escalate for the time being. I will leave the Tenryo and Yashiro commissions to handle the follow-up work, such as investigating the origins of this incident and tending to the root system.
Alrighty then, let's move on. It looks calm on the outside, but Paimon bets her emotions must be all over the place right now, huh? She seems to have changed a lot since we last met her. Huh? What's wrong, eh? Come on, keep up! What's going on? Are you feeling unwell again?
My body... I can't move it.
In the middle of the theme song. Oh no.
It looks like the situation is more serious than I thought.
I don't think we should take her back to the city if she's... I mean, that sounds like a really bad idea.
No need. She is calling me. The time has come. Can you help me walk? I need to go to the cave below the Grand Narukami Shrine.
Why? What's in there?
A battleground. One where I shall sever ties with the past and take the first steps into the future. We're finally here. The entrance should be nearby.
The oars. I want them. I want the oars. Oh, the flowers are pretty though.
Whoa! Where'd that Torii gate come from?
Clearly she's not okay.
It's getting worse again. But it's fine. I'm happy. I'm about to put an end to it all.
An end to what, exactly?
This is a place I once sealed off with my own hands. The entrance to Raiden Makoto's realm of consciousness. It looks like she will no longer allow me to do with this body as I please.
So you're in her body? I'm so confused.
Huh? What are you talking about? And who is she? Makoto?
Oh shoot, I thought Paimon. Well, we knew what she was saying at least.
Follow me.
Very much like in Konamiya.
Where are we
Black
go-
hole. Oh Jesus. Here we go.
Paimon's dizzy. Where did we get sucked into this time? Whoa. This place...
It does look like the plane of Daimyo.
Look! Look over there!
But it's like blue.
It's another A!
We meet again, traveler. This body is an assistant to the one within, but it is also the guardian of the rules. Should the one within wish to stray from the rules, this body shall stand in her way.
Wait! Paimon knows that voice! Is that... the puppet?
You have wandered the realm in my body, and you appear to have grasped the true essence of eternity.
Oh, okay. So her sister's essence is in. Wait. No, never mind. The puppet is the puppet. And she is in her sister's body. And then the puppet is just like after her sister. This is so weird.
You believe your present self has greater certainty than your former self. Thus, you believe your present self is correct, don't you? But have you really been enlightened with new ideas? Or have you been degraded by irreversible erosion? I'm here to show you my answer. We are both warriors, and the dialogue we must now have shall be conducted by the blade alone.
Wait. The atmosphere in here just took a turn for the worse.
Oh no.
Are you alright now?
The discomfort I was experiencing earlier was caused by the Shogun rejecting my continued use of her body. As she indicates, once I started entertaining the idea of change, I became hostile in her eyes.
Okay.
But inside a realm of consciousness, I exist independently of her. She cannot affect me in this way. Though she is a puppet, the Shogun has her own consciousness too. When necessary, she appears here to confront me.
I think you've mentioned this before. This is her system to safeguard against modifications of eternity.
Paimon gets that everyone has their internal battles and stuff, but not like this. It's a bit extreme.
Yeah, literal internal battle. Oh god.
Hey, showdown with the Shogun? Never thought we'd see that day.
The rules I set for the Shogun are... No. The Shogun herself is the manifestation of my past ideals. The very foundation stone of eternity. It shall not be easily swayed. I would not try to change her if it wasn't necessary.
Isn't there any other way? Can't you hack it through or something?
Paimon, these people don't talk about things, they just do them. These people don't know what talk even means. Hey, isn't someone who leaves herself an escape route? Yeah, she confronts it straight up.
But they both just want the best for Inazuma.
My form is a symbol of supreme majesty, in which has been vested power over all the realm. It is the cohesive embodiment of all that constitutes the Raiden Shogun. It inherits Ei's pain, the pain of inevitable loss that comes as she moves forward. So too does it inherit her determination to reach eternity. Every action undertaken is for the sake of resisting erosion. Determination, courage, love, hatred, all of these will be degraded and distorted by the incessant flow of time. Only rules shall remain constant for eternity. Those were my thoughts when I created you. Now, they are towering obstacles that I have no choice but to overcome.
So do you think if she's able to defeat the puppet, that she'll be able to modify the puppet? Or would that mean she'd have to create a whole new puppet? I know we talked about it before, but it's been like a hot minute.
You wish to make yourself my enemy? I am your past, the everlasting law, the guardian of eternity.
Dude, you made yourself the enemy.
And I am she who promised a dream to her subjects. Raiden A.
Here we go.
In the end, even the proud and mighty Oni Maiden was cut down and disgraced. Though your blade has been cleansed of her blood and filth, never shall it shine as brightly as it once did.
I don't have Raiden.
Insolent! Illusion shattered!
Oh, she got out of it. No.
There is no escape! Ha! 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 Inazuma shines eternal! The glistening sakura blossoms that once filled the skies fell to the ground as pitch black rain. As long as the Layla... Torn to oblivion!
That was
There is no escape! Pathetic. Weak.
I'm not pathetic.
Illusions are but distractions. Illusion shattered.
How dare you call me pathetic? Oh no.
Shattered.
I got the first one! Is that a thing?
Inazuma shines eternal. The divine lightning that envelops all of Inazuma will fade silently into the
I
clouds.
did it. I did the thing. I
There
can't
shall
believe
never
it.
be another. Illusion shattered. Now you shall perish.
God, I did that.
Shine down. The eye sweeps the land. Shattered. There is no escape. Torn to oblivion. Euthymia crumbles before me.
Have you finally defeated her?
It appears your martial prowess has not dulled.
Did you think it would?
But how long can your will remain strong?
How the heck?
Surely the Shogun puppet isn't invincible.
In this realm of consciousness, her existence is tenacious indeed. She was built to resist erosion. Her will is stronger than any other living beings, including you and me.
Then, does that mean this is gonna be a never-ending battle?
Maybe. But I have to prove to her that my present will is no product of erosion. The future I shall forge will be a grand undertaking, one that will be resistant to erosion.
This is so fitting for eternity, you know?
If I don't do this, the Shogun's rules can never change, and Inazuma can never move forward. This is my duty. No matter how long this battle may last, months, years, centuries, and no matter how many times we must fight, I will defeat her.
What will happen to Inazuma in the meantime?
500 years ago, humanity proved their strength in battle. Here in the present, they rely on their ambition to challenge wayward practices, tear them out like the diseased wood of an old sakura tree, so that new, healthy branches might spring to life in their place. It is about time that I learned to trust them.
But can you bear to leave humanity to go alone? Everyone looks to the Shogun for hope. Yeah, I mean, somebody's gotta be like, you know, passing laws and stuff. You can't just be abandoning your duties. Like, I know she would help out with that. Wait, she would help out with that. Getting confused here.
I understand that. But if the dreams of which Makoto spoke are true eternity, a short moment for which the Shogun does not exist is nothing to fear. I fight for the everlasting future of Inazuma. However long the battle may last, it is but a drop in the ocean of eternity. I vow to the subjects of Inazuma that I shall one day return. This is my oath. Please, be my witness. During my absence, I place everything in Miko's hands.
Okay.
But this means that...
Pass on my words.
We have been kicked from the system.
Looks like we got kicked out. Oh, what do we do? Are we really just gonna leave A and the Shogun to keep on duking it out in there forever? She was making sense, and maybe this is the only way to change the Shogun's rules, but still...
A has no physical body anymore and has to rely on the Shogun. But this cannot be the only way.
Right? Also, A can be pretty stubborn at times and has a history of rushing into difficult situations. What if she gets too obsessed with winning and she forgets why she's there in the first place? It could happen. And then she might never leave again.
We're not about to leave her just yet.
Yeah, we should help her out, like we did last time. The quicker she gets through this, the better. Is there any way we can cut down how long she needs to spend in there? Or, help her win the fight? Well, whatever. We can't let anything bad happen to A while she's in there. Oh, but we also can't get in there anymore.
This is a bit problematic.
Okay, well, first things first. We gotta find a way back in. Oh, come on, brain juice. Don't fail Paimon now. Okay, maybe if we both ram into it at the same time really, really hard.
Yeah, we need to talk to Yai.
Oh, you're right. Paimon nearly forgot about her. Who knows if she really understands these consciousness realm plane thingies more than we do, but there's no one else we can turn to. All right, up the mountain we go.
Someone's not in the best of moods. Let me guess. You're all tangled up in another situation and need me to unravel it for you. I hope you realize how lucky you are. If it was anyone else, I don't think I'd have the patience to keep greeting them with a smile after the first few times.
But you're always smiling.
Yeah.
That was a figure of speech, do you understand? Nitpicking my turns of phrase. The sheer audacity.
The audacity. Paimon, get to the point.
Oh, yeah. Something really big's happened. It's A. She...
Oh, okay, I see. So, A's decided to palm Inazuma off on the humans, while she goes off on her own to fight a fierce battle that doesn't even have an end date. Impossibly stubborn. Jumps straight to the most extreme course of action imaginable, presumes her sheer will can see her through, despite a near impossible goal that requires nothing short of the very peak of her abilities. Yes, that sounds like A all right. You know as well as I do that she's always been like this. Why start fretting about it now?
This duel is more serious than anything up till now. She rushed into it without thinking. I mean, I think she thought about it. And I mean, dude, she was gonna, she was suffering. I don't think I think she had to. The only issue is that if that was causing, if the battle within her was causing that, then would that affect her fighting it? Could the other person mess with her? I guess not, because the other consciousness, they're separate in there, right?
Rushed into it without thinking. Well put. Oh, she acts like such a child sometimes. So you seem to be under the impression that I am able to offer some sort of help? Who gave you that idea?
Is she playing dumb? She's doing this on purpose, for sure.
Uh-huh. You're learning, little one. But really, the truth of the matter is that I don't know much more about Raiden Makoto's realm of consciousness than you do. All I know is that it's the foundation of the sacred Sakura, and from what I've heard, it's a little different from A's plane of euthymia.
Because Raiden Makoto is no longer alive?
Not just because of that. The nature of the space itself is different in some way. But I can only speculate. You're the ones who have actually been there, so you tell me. What was it like?
It was a different color. That's about all that I know. It didn't have the purple hue, and the ground didn't look the same. But that's all I remember.
Anyway, we needn't worry about the details too much. It'll just be a little difficult to explain things later on, that's all. First things first. Follow me to the entrance. Now then, I always have my ways. It's just a question of how crafty I need to be. To the outsider, the realm of consciousness is a very abstract concept. Luckily, I'm A's familiar, so I can sense her rough whereabouts. In other words, even though I can't pinpoint the exact spatial location of this realm, I can still send you to where A is.
So, it's abstract, but has a location, but you don't know where it is, but you can still send us there. What?
Yes, no need to try and understand it. Let me put this simply. Right now, she is surrounded by chaos. Everything is turbulent and disordered. If you try to force your way in, you could be swept away by a giant wave that sets you down in an unknown corner of space-time.
That sounds very scary. While I'm alive, I'd like to know where I am. Thank you very much.
This is precisely why when entering the plane of euthymia, it's much safer if you place your consciousness in a physical object first.
What? Alright, well, Paimon's staying here then. You two can go in.
In your dreams.
Suit yourself. Worst case scenario, all we stand to lose is A. So what's the big deal?
Paimon's had it up to here with both of you! Oh, fine. Paimon's coming too.
You have to.
Oh. Well, if you're quite sure, then of course. Now, I shall send you on your way. I say. Oh, nothing. It just seems extraordinarily chaotic, that's all. My suspicions have been confirmed.
Chaos, you say?
By the way, remember to focus constantly on your heartfelt wishes when you enter inside. Only a strong enough will can prevent you from being swallowed by the giant waves of abstract space. Only if you are strong enough can I deliver you to the right destination. Well then, the door's open. Hop on in. I'll stay outside and provide what stability I can. I'll be ready to respond if anything happens. I'm placing my god in your capable hands. For my sake, and for Inazuma's, please. Bring her back.
Miko, you better know what you're doing!
That's enough chatter. Get to work.
Huh? How can this be? You have returned. But how were you able to get back in? And how come you have not changed at all in all these years?
Oh no.
This is a duel to remember. It is as if we have returned to the moment when the laws of eternity were first established. Your will today is as strong as it was back then. Over countless battles, not once have you lost, and never have you shown the slightest hesitation. Had I made all enemies of eternity stand against you, you still would not have wavered. For your firm commitment to enforcing the rules, you have my admiration too. You bring honor to the title of Guardian of Eternity. Now these two return once more to this space. An inevitability of fate, perhaps. Then, let this be our final duel. The conclusion to that which began 500 years ago. Final duel? So you're finally willing to... Stand back, traveler.
Are you going to put an end to all of this?
I'm going to be the start of something new. The time our duels took to fight was long enough to witness the rise and fall of nations.
Oh my.
The energy they consumed, great enough to vaporize the ocean and turn day into night. And the will they demanded, sufficient to penetrate minds and crush dreams. Yet, you have endured. Witness the final calamity! Shine down! Insecure! Illusion shattered! Ruin followed by blade! Shine down is in my hand! There is no escape! Purge all obstacles! Perish! Illusion shattered! Followed by blade! There is no escape! In spirit!
There it goes.
This is the end. You have won.
But to me, if she is eternity, and hear me out, I'm interrupting again, but I swear it's important. If she was eternity, then she wouldn't be giving this up. Right? She would never give up.
I believed you were incapable of transcending the past. But it seems my belief was baseless, and I underestimated your spirit. But a will that cannot be eroded has no way to embrace the future. You need not worry about the future, and you aren't alone. I know your power more than anyone else. Had I relied upon my strength alone, I would have lost this duel for sure. Yet, my reason for fighting redefined my martial prowess and redrew my limits. I now carry the gaze of the myriad of expectant eyes that look to the light in the heavens. And whenever I think of this, I feel something stirring within Muso Ishin. The blade that I inherited from Makoto seems to be trying to guide me, to encourage me. I noticed it also. Just now in the heat of battle, it seemed to unleash a new and unfamiliar power. This power is beyond the limits of my understanding. This blade belonged to Makoto. Perhaps it can only respond to me with its full power when I truly understand and believe in her.
Now it tells us the previous Shogun. We know this now.
When I clasped Muso Ishin in my hands, I had the feeling that she was by my side once again. It was at once a familiar feeling and a strange one. Makoto barely wielded a blade in her life, and yet her blade brings me closer to her. You have my approval. Your present will is not the product of erosion. I shall no longer stop you from attempting to modify the rules. From this day forth, this body will remain your assistant.
Oh, you gained her trust. You have unlocked Raiden Shogun.
I won't design any more rules that can never be changed. You used to represent my past, but from today onward, you are me. Makoto never saw me as a fearless weapon. Likewise, I should not regard you as a mere tool. You truly have changed. I suppose this is what humans call growth.
Raffle.
I understand. I shall become your shadow, just as you were once Makoto's shadow. The duties I perform will not change. But as a warrior, I look forward to the chance to fight like this again in the future. Do you say this because You have not yet reconciled yourself with your defeat? It was simply a new experience for me. One that is worth reliving.
Have you finished fighting then? Like, for real this time?
Hmm? Hello, A. And greetings, those who have come to bear witness.
Oh my goodness.
I am Raiden Makoto, the previous Electro Archon, who failed in my duties and left you all to pick up the pieces.
I don't know if you failed. You did what you could.
Makoto? I'm so happy. You've come so far. I always knew you would make it here in the end. I left a faint fragment of my will in Muso Ishin, so that in the moment that you unleashed its full power, I too would be released.
What if that was a real thing?
A convoluted way to reach you, but... well, you held such deeply entrenched views at the time that you wouldn't have listened to a word I said. There was no time to wait for you to have a change of heart. Please forgive me. All I could do was find some way to wait until you came to me. But... you never mentioned this to me. Everything happened so suddenly. I'm sorry. I've always felt terrible for having to entrust Inazuma to you all of a sudden. I should have been the one to impart these ideas to you, a little at a time, to dissuade you from your pursuit of stillness. Did you know what was about to happen in Conria? I had some sense of it. That place was not somewhere that any Archon could afford to ignore. In my present form, I can no longer perceive time. I don't know how long we have been separated before this reunion, and I don't know what Inazuma has experienced in the meantime. But I know that this must have been an extremely arduous journey for you. And I'm sure you must have wanted to shed tears many times along the way. Don't look down on me.
Don't have pity
See?
on me.
You admit it. It was with this possibility in mind that I left a parting gift for you. Something to soothe Inazuma's pain.
But as someone that passed on, I would think you wouldn't have any guilt. I mean, she feels bad to, like, for what has happened, but I would think that you would find peace with that. You know, it's the people that are still living that still have that guilt.
Here, take it. Before my last shred of consciousness fades away.
I mean, I know this is all fantastical and everything, I'm just speculating.
But it is you who must take the most important step.
The light turned into a seed?
The miracle tree that blesses the people, in this moment new to the world and yet to be known. When to plant it, where it shall bloom. She who brings it into being must let her heart and dreams decide. Grant it life, eh? Is it really? Eternity extends time into infinity. Dreams illuminate each moment within. When both shine in unison, the sacred Sakura blooms from the darkness, finally free from the clutches of the heavenly principles. Now the nightmare has dissipated, and reality is made whole. The vision we both yearn for is still further ahead. My only regret is that I cannot witness Inazuma's future, nor can I walk this journey with you. Do you know, A? I am so happy right now. because my final wish has now come true. Your polearm once protected me from countless calamities. For this, I've always felt indebted to you. Though I could never repay you in full, this sacred sakura will buy you some time until you are ready to awaken and embrace the new. What do you think? Did it do the trick? This time, it really is goodbye, eh? Goodbye, Makoto.
So the A of the present planted the sacred sakura in the realm of consciousness, and it took root in the Inazuma of the past. No matter what you make of it, it's quite incredible.
All of this is thanks to Makoto's power. Her understanding of eternity is much more profound than mine. Eternity is a concept intimately connected with time. When you begin to touch on eternity, the concept of time becomes murky.
I saw wonderful things inside that place. Time was moving forward and backward at the same time.
A place where time is meaningless and cannot be understood with ordinary logic. So that was the turbulence I was sensing. Perhaps that is the reason why you were able to return precisely to this point in time without any problems. And yet, that sense of disorderliness has now completely disappeared.
I don't fully understand yet. But my intuition tells me that the reason for everything, it's that seed.
Well, I'm not convinced that it was Makoto's power alone.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I know what you mean. Perhaps Makoto got a higher power involved in all of this. But whatever the explanation, her solution is what saved us all.
Mr. Roth. Who's that? Oh god.
Without the sacred Sakura, Inazuma would likely have been completely swallowed up centuries ago by that disaster and the filth.
I know you've always perceived there was something special about the sacred Sakura, but to me, it has always been there. You've tried in the past to prove to me that there's a connection between the sacred Sakura and Makoto's consciousness, but unfortunately, you never did persuade me, did you?
No. But I understand why now. It was because the sacred Sakura hadn't even been planted then.
But don't you think that tree looked a lot different than how it does now?
The sacred Sakura is within my purview at the shrine, so obviously I get to prune it exactly how I like it.
Wow.
Ugh. Now we see who's pulling the strings.
Yeah, honestly.
I'm joking. That tree has been through a lot since it first sprouted. We have the loving care of Kitsune over the ages to thank for how it appears today. And obviously I played my part too.
Yeah, we know.
It's fair to say that very little time passed between the moment you came out of that realm and the moment you re-entered it. But in that same time, centuries of battling took place on the inside, did it not?
That's why she said it was so long.
Traveler, if I'm guessing correctly, you were repeating your wishes to yourself in your mind, weren't you?
Nah.
At that time, I could sense A's whereabouts, but I also sensed anomalies in the flow of time within that space. Suffice to say, time added a whole new dimension to our search. Simply establishing a location was not sufficient. Fortunately, your will was strong enough that the turbulence carried you to the moment in time most likely to be the intersection of all that you were wishing for. The flow of turbulence may well have been influenced by Makoto, but it took everyone's efforts combined to ultimately help A. So this time, it looks like thanks are due to you.
Does that mean It wasn't by chance that we ended up at the final duel? We were always meant to be there to witness what was going to happen?
Perhaps this is what the Shogun meant by an inevitability of fate.
I thought that the flow of time was the same on the inside and the outside, so it was a great shock to me when the traveler reappeared. My first thought was, has a great disaster befallen Inazuma? But it turned out you had come to rescue me. You came for my sake, to help me reach the best possible outcome.
Imagine if we had a fight with the Traveler. Oh my god.
You too have my thanks. You have done much for me, and I will never forget it.
A, how are you feeling now?
My body has fully recovered, and the Shogun's will no longer fights against me.
Always thrilled to hear you're in good health. But I was really asking about your emotions. Have you managed to calm down? After all, you saw Makoto in there, didn't you?
I only heard her voice. I wouldn't say I saw her. I'll be fine. It brought a few things back, of course, but I've made my decision to move forward.
It's really not that easy, but okay.
I have to say, this has reminded me once again just how brilliant Makoto was. She predicted all the ways in which Inazuma's future could unfold, all the way back then. She even factored my immaturity into her plan. It's all thanks to her that Inazuma lived to see this day.
Yes, exactly. You made a crucial contribution too.
I just planted a seed.
Bro, you did way more than that. This was literally her whole way. This was all a whole way to show you that there's a different way to think. There's a different way to perceive the world that you have to govern and control. And she wanted you to see her perspective and form your own with that.
Yeah, it was thanks to everything you did that you got to see her again. That's amazing!
But getting there was the result of countless efforts coming together. Just because the cause and effect ended up a bit back to front doesn't mean you should undervalue the part you played. Nah.
Thank you.
Today, at long last, you and Inazuma finally emerge from the shadows cast by the events of centuries past. Makoto and you are Inazuma's past and future, and both are indispensable.
It's rare to hear such comforting words from you. I graciously accept them.
Oh, come on. You only think it's rare because you never used to listen to a word I say.
Makoto said the exact same thing!
Great minds think alike, hmm? I wonder, does that qualify me to, maybe, take the position of Shogun for a couple of days? Actually, no. Forget that. Far more trouble than it's worth.
We will have to end the frivolities there. There is much work to be done. The Shogun and I will closely review the Inazuma of today to find out where things currently stand. Then, we will give careful consideration to the future. After that, I will abolish the Sakoku decree.
Really?
Really? That's huge news!
I am no longer pursuing an eternity defined by stasis. In which case, there is no further need to keep the nation under lock and key.
Praise the Lord.
I don't doubt that many challenges lie ahead for Inazuma.
But out of these challenges will be born new opportunities. Yep.
I'm looking forward to it.
Woohoo! Huzzah! We did it. Okay guys, well, that's the end of this story quest. I guess we can talk to them again.
Many challenges still lie ahead for Inazuma, but I am prepared for them.
Oh, so many questions. About the challenges, about the gaze of gods. Just go through each one.
Abolishing the Sakoku decree has a myriad of implications. It would be folly to say that it will be all positive, and there will be no negative repercussions. For example, I can foresee the outside world posing a threat to Inazuma's businesses. These are the issues that I must work to solve.
Hey, you're thinking about this all so conscientiously. I've only got as far as wondering whether I'll be able to sell entrance tickets to the Grand Narukami Shrine in the future.
Honestly, Miko, many challenges still lie ahead for Inazuma, but I am prepared for them. Makoto's gaze was always fixed on the people of Inazuma. I always assumed it was because that was her duty. But now, I see that hers was a gaze full of delight and hope. It was not just a duty, but a joy, too. She loved humanity very dearly.
If the people of the past deserve the god's attention, then so do the people of the future.
I mean, you're also governing people, so you really should be paying attention to them, you know?
Indeed. No longer will I ignore their passions and dreams. Many challenges still lie ahead for Inazuma, but I am prepared for them.
Centuries of dueling.
To put it bluntly, it was constant torture, with no end in sight. Faced with an endless battle, I had to remain focused at all times. Had my concentration lapsed for but a moment, the Shogun's blade would have taken my life. Safe to say, were it not for my previous experiences in combat, my skills would not have been up to the challenge. I would most certainly have been defeated. And through it all, you also had your part to play. Many challenges still lie ahead for Inazuma,
About the damage to the
but I am prepared for them. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I will be sure to remind the Tenryo and Yashiro commissions of their duties in this regard. It's not only the monsters that I am worried about. I'm concerned about what else might escape from the sacred Sakura.
That's a tough one, all right. There's plenty more besides memories held in the ley lines.
Since you clearly understand, perhaps you could think about making an effort too. Many challenges still lie ahead for Inazuma,
Yeah, Miko said she
but
was
I am
facing her
prepared for them.
Ahem. Yaimiko said nothing of the sort, and the traveler has some nerve making up spurious claims about her while she is still present.
Oh my gosh.
Some words are not to be passed on. Trust me, you don't want to know the cost of betraying me. Just think of the things I said to you as our little secret. Understood?
What are you talking about?
Nothing. Ooh, I suddenly want some fried tofu.
Alright guys, well, that's the true ending. I will see y'all in the next one, where we will talk. We'll actually have a quest with Yamiko. So, anyways, yay, we did it. Alright, see y'all on the flip side.